What do you make of this? A lot of San Diego residents, to say nothing of California residents in general, argue that their kids don't get the same allowances.
Well, that's absolutely true, and that's what the frustration level is for me and for many of the parents that have contacted my office over the last year, hoping that schools would reopen again and allowing them to do it safely. And I'm not trying to begrudge these teenage girls. Actually, is what they are, 13 to 17-year-old girls that are being held at the convention center. For hopefully to find them residences or transition into housing or residence or family nearby. So I'm not begrudging that they shouldn't have education, but they're getting it while our own students, we got like 130,000 in the San Diego Unified School District that won't be getting it until April 12th, and even then on a limited basis. So the frustration level is pretty high here among parents in San Diego County who've been hoping to get their kids back in school. They see these migrant kids getting ahead of the line.
Now, a lot who argue on behalf of the migrant teenagers, and you're right, most of them are female, is that it's not the same as giving them the education that would be available for others to get virtually, just because of the setup and moving them pretty quickly into various facilities in the San Diego area included. What do you say?
Well, I think, this is more about the in-person versus virtual type of school and education. So the fact that, we've had many teachers and people saying, no, I can't go back in person because of the virus and everything else. Well, here we've got, a room full of, it's all girls. And that many, I think about 10% of them now, about 70 out of the 720 that are there have tested positive for COVID. And the fact that, the teachers are willing to go in there, but they're not willing to do, in-school teaching or in-person teaching in our own public schools. And, this whole thing is just really kind of back to the fact that our borders are being overrun, particularly in Texas and Arizona, because many of these girls that have come here have flown in from Texas and bussed in from Arizona. And the fact that they don't have the capacity there to house all of these children. I heard there's about 12,000 children now. And these are teenagers without parents. That's who they are. These are kids who didn't come across the border with parents. They're 13 to 17-year-old females here in San Diego County. And, I'm have compassion for them, but also we have to have compassion for our own kids at the same time and giving them at least the same opportunities as the kids that came across the border.
Yeah, because some of those who are advocating for these kids who came across the border is that they won't all be getting in-person classroom teaching and that sort of thing, that it will be a mix, much as it is for other kids in other parts of the state. I don't know what it is for San Diego, but what do you think of that?
Well, it's going to be in-person training at the convention center. It's not in-person training in the regular schools and the public schools for San Diego County. And that's really kind of the main rub. It's like, all of a sudden, it's unfortunate that all these minors came here to San Diego County and the travel that they had, that they went through, to be where they are. And yet they get a better treatment, right away within less than a week. They're getting in-person education where our own kids are not. And that's really kind of the gist of it. And we want to be respectful for everybody, but waiting over a year for in-person education is very frustrating for many parents that have called my office several times, waiting for this to happen, and they see somebody else getting it first.